Disconnect to reconnect. Standing at the edge of a marina, looking out towards the ocean, it felt like these three little words were bringing my life to a quick halt. I was nearly on my way to Catalina Sea Camp, where I would spend 3 weeks living with new people and learning about unique environments, but I still felt strangled by one big rule. No electronics. For someone whose life had revolved around being connected, the thought of completely stepping away from this was frustrating and scary. It felt like I was leaving behind something special, something that I would never get back. Maybe my friends would forget about me, or maybe I would lose the small following I built around my online persona. In retrospect, both worries were silly, but in the moment, they really bothered me. In his book, Paper Towns, John Green writes, "It is so hard to leave until you leave. And then it is the easiest thing in the whole world." And he was right, because once I finally got the nerve to turn off my phone and give it to my dad, I stopped thinking about it. Going to camp, I was surrounded by incredible people that were passionate about everything. I watched campers lose their voices cheering for one another, and I spent hours talking with instructors simply because they make me love what they do. I was made to live and breathe human connection, and at some point during those 3 weeks, I reconnected with the person that I had wanted to be, someone I hadn't even realized that I had missed being. Maybe I was right in thinking that things wouldn't be the same once I got home. But maybe, just maybe, that's a good thing. Over the course of those 3 weeks, I learned more about myself than I ever expected to, and it made me realize just how big of an impact electronics have had on our mental health. Even I was slowly losing touch with myself, and it took a lot of coaxing to realize that I have been running from change instead of embracing it. Look at it this way. Even though COVID has been going on for the past couple years, we have been following ourselves further into our phones as the world opens up, and we are more separated than we have been in any years past. We have been stuck inside for the past year and a half, yeah? We have gone to school online, we've taken tests online, we've talked to friends online, and yet, somehow, despite all of these hours devoted to staying connected, we are more separated from each other than ever before. Take, for example, the person sitting to your left, yeah? Are they your friend? Are they your family? Now riddle me this. When was the last time you cried in front of them? Many of you will squirm at that question because, ugh, who cries in front of other people? And hey, I get it. It's frustrating and it's awkward because it forces us to do something that most of us will avoid at all costs. It forces us to be vulnerable. It does make you wonder, though. What's wrong with being vulnerable, with showing emotions? Emotions are human. You and I, we're human too. But for one reason or another, we have lost the connection with each other that lets us find comfort in vulnerability. The last time I cried in front of someone was during those 3 weeks at camp. The last few times, actually, and you know what? It felt good. It didn't feel weak, I didn't feel judged, and all it took was a friend's arm around my shoulders to make sure that I knew that. Connection isn't digital. It isn't a box to check, a hashtag to tweet, or a text to send. It's a moment, an experience, a feeling. It's throwing your hands up in the air when you reach the top of a roller coaster, and it's asking for a hug when it's time to leave. Real connection brings people together by acknowledging that we aren't perfect. It comes from living in the moment, which is something that our phones often stop us from doing. As someone once told me, you have got to romanticize your life. You have got to wake up every day and commit to making the best out of it every time. Do something spontaneous, maybe even surprising, because ultimately it comes down to one simple truth. This is your world. All of us, we're just living in it. So I urge you, disconnect and reconnect. Turn off your electronics. Go stick your phone in a box for an hour every day if you have to, and forget about it. Find that connection with other people. Consciously make the effort to balance your life between the digital world and your physical reality. It may have taken me an unbreakable rule to find my way, but if there's one thing that I have learned from all of this, it's that you and you alone have the power to make a change in your life. All it takes is a willingness to try and one giant stride. My name is Elisabeth Pendergrass, and this has been Disconnect to Reconnect. Thank you.